I would like to introduce our guest speaker of this evening, Thureya Roberts. Thureya is a biomedical scientist, HCP registered, MSc psychology graduate, author and award-winning lecturer whose journey from Fife College student, just like you tonight, to inspiring educator embodies resilience and purpose. After beginning her studies at Fife College in 2005 with the NC in Applied Sciences, Thureya progressed through to HND Biomedical Science before graduating with a first-class honours from the University of Aberdeen, Dundee. Her early career included work in cancer research, haematology and blood transfusion within the NHS before she returned to educator as our lecturer. Now teaching across SCQF levels 5 to 8, including modern apprenticeships and pharmacy technician training, Thureya combines scientific expertise with compassion and lived experience to help her students thrive. Beyond the classroom, she develops science-backed self-help resources and online courses such as the Tired Teacher Recovery Plan and Burnout Reset, blending psychology and practical tools for well-being. Thureya's two amazing daughters are here tonight as well, so I'd like you to give her a very warm round of applause to Thureya Roberts.
Good evening, graduates. You've finally made it. After all the late night stress and caffeine, and now the only thing left to figure out is what you're actually going to do with the rest of your lives. No pressure. But in all seriousness, today is a day to celebrate every single one of you, because you've shown up, stayed the course, and made it through challenges that many never do. Every year, thousands of students across Scotland start college courses full of hope and ambition, but life doesn't always make it easy to reach the finish line. According to the Scottish Funding Council, around 1 in 5 students don't complete their courses, not because they lack ability, but because real life just sometimes gets in the way. And that's exactly why today is such a powerful moment. As an accomplished researcher, educator, and an award-winning biomedical scientist, I'm hoping that my story will motivate and encourage you as you take the next steps in your careers. Once upon a time, I was sitting there in my robes, just like you, proud, nervous, and mostly worried about tripping on the way to collect my certificate. If there's one thing I want you to take away from today, it's this: your past does not define you. How many of you thought you'd even get to this stage? How many of you wanted to give up at some point? I started life facing multiple traumas, neglect and poverty. My only focus growing up was survival. At 13, I was taken into care for my own protection. Those early experiences were chaotic, but they taught me something I'll never forget: resilience. I left school with no qualifications and started working in a cafe at 15. At 18, when I left the children's home and got my first flat, I didn't know what I was going to do with my life. I initially enrolled at Fife College on an admin course that happened to include a unit called medical terminology. And that one subject completely opened my eyes. I discovered a fascination for the human body, health and disease. Around the same time, I got an evening admin job at Victoria Road Medical Surgery, transferring patient records into a new digital system. I absolutely loved it. For the first time, I realised I wanted a career that helped people through science and medicine. At the next Fife College Open Day, I was directed to the NC Applied Sciences course. In my first year, I achieved all A grades and won Student of the Year. That moment became a real turning point for me. I worked my way up from level 5 to hires to HNC and HND in biomedical science. That progression led me straight into third year at Aberdeen University, where I graduated with a first-class honours degree. I was also awarded the President's Prize from the Institute of Biomedical Science for achieving high academic distinction. But what I'm most proud of is that I started from nothing and I built a future through persistence. Before I'd even graduated, I took a chance and I applied for a cancer research position at Ninewells Hospital in Dundee. The post required a PhD, which I didn't have, but I thought, why not? I was the only candidate without a PhD, and they offered me the job. I stayed nearly 2 years in cancer research before moving closer to home with NHS Fife at Victoria Hospital in Kirkcaldy, working in haematology and blood transfusion. That post required HCPC registration, which I didn't yet have, but once again, I applied anyway. I was the only candidate interviewed without registration, and they chose me. NHS Fife saw my potential and even funded my training so I could earn my registration while I worked. I stayed there for 5 years, gaining valuable experience in both haematology and blood transfusion. Back in 2018, when I became a single mum with 3 young children, I needed a job that would allow me to be there for them. They're over there, by the way. I reached out to one of my lecturers here at Fife College for a reference for another job, and they asked if I'd ever considered teaching before. I hadn't, but something told me to try. I still remember waiting for the interview and seeing the candidate before me totally looking the part. He had his tweed blazer on and leather briefcase and everything, and I'm thinking, there's no way I'm getting this job. But guess what? Yay. I didn't have any teaching qualifications at the time, but they saw my potential and gave me the chance. Once I started, the college supported me to complete my teaching qualifications alongside my job. That's why I'm telling you all of this today. Apply for the opportunities you want, even if you don't meet every requirement. Be brave, be bold, and be willing to try. It worked for me. Nowadays, career paths aren't fixed. You can reinvent yourselves as many times as you choose. I went from being a kid in care with no qualifications to administrator, to cancer researcher, to biomedical scientist, to lecturer, and now, after completing my master's in psychology, I also teach psychology alongside biology. And it doesn't stop there. Beyond teaching, I write self-help books, create wellbeing and science courses, and connect with people through my website, blog, and YouTube channel. My mission is to combine science, psychology, and personal growth to help people realise that the impossible is possible. If my high school teachers could see me now, they probably wouldn't believe it. They were far more interested in making me wash off my makeup before lessons than actually teaching the lessons. Coming to Fife College as a student was the starting point for me, and I'll forever be grateful for how it shaped my life, both as a learner and now as a lecturer. So let this be your reminder. Never let your past, your circumstances, or anyone's opinion decide what you're capable of. Every single one of you sitting here today has overcome something to get here. Whether it was battling self-doubt, balancing work and study, pushing through the hard days when giving up felt easier. We've all had to overcome something to get here. So, today isn't just about academic achievement, it's about resilience, determination, and the strength that got you here. You didn't just start the journey, you finished it, and that makes this moment truly powerful. My hope is that my story inspires you to see that your ambitions don't stop here. There are countless opportunities waiting for you. You just have to be courageous enough to claim them. So go forward with confidence, be curious, be kind, and when life tells you you're not ready, apply anyway, because sometimes the very thing you think you're not ready for is exactly what will change your life. Thank you.